Welcome to Road to Billions podcast, the mentality of an entrepreneur. With your host, Moise Bertrand.
It is your host, Moise Bertrand, the Road to Billions podcast. It's been an amazing journey, guys, and I appreciate every last one of you guys for listening and tuning in on the podcast, on the episode, like always. From everybody who's been listening to the last episodes, you've been keeping up with the information I've been giving you guys, the business credit, the real estate, just living in the now. Make sure you check out these episodes because a lot of people been giving me some great feedback, and I just want you guys to also just take a listen and stuff like that for the betterment of the podcast. You get me? But yeah, I was just washing clothes, man. I had to put the dryer just now on pause because it'll just keep messing with the whole sensitivity to the mic. You can really hear every last spin. So, I decided to just cut it off for a little bit. So this podcast is gonna go fairly quickly, but the point isn't gonna be short. You gave me the point is gonna go further than you expected it to, better than what you expected to. But I'm gonna try to concise everything in one little small podcast episode, if that makes sense. So I just want to let you guys know sometimes not every blessing comes in a physical form, right? I tell people all the time, like, you have to be on the lookout for opportunities. You have to keep your eyes peeled back. You have to keep your ears open. And what do I mean by that? So I was buying this property recently and the deal fell through, right? I'm talking about the 26th of September. I was supposed to close. I was so happy. I was so excited. But, this property gave me a bit of a headache before I even got to the closing, right? I just still didn't sign, but all the things that happened before this, it was already hectic. Every time I buy a property, it's smooth. It's like 1, 2, 3. It's like so easy. But for this property here, it taught me a little bit more due diligence. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it also taught me that not every blessing is gonna come in a physical form. You get me? I thought this property here was a blessing, right? It was another city. It was so cheap, and a lot of people get frightened when they hear cheap, when they hear out of state investors. But for me, I look at it like an opportunity that other people don't want, right? So I took the opportunity to go ahead and put this house under contract. I put a deposit down, an earnest, and it was just a lot of back and forth, right? So the title agency where I was supposed to be closing it at, they needed additional paperwork for whatever reason. I don't know. So we sent them something called an addendum, and it's like a change of a contract. They were just saying some things were error, names, all this other stuff. Cool. We got that submitted to them. Then the insurance that I initially had ended up calling me like a few days before I was supposed to close initially and said, hey, listen, we can't close right now because the insurance that you got a policy for this property, we don't cover it. We don't have windstorm insurance. So your lender is requesting that to be one of the insurance requirements, and we can't fulfill that right now. So you got to find another insurance. So now I don't have an insurance, right? And I already put the earnest money down, and I got to go ahead and let the title and seller know, hey, listen, we're going to be backed up a little bit because I got to go ahead and find another insurance company. I'm literally on the same day, I'm emailing all insurances, and I asked the lender, hey, do you have another insurance company? He was like, yeah, we work with this company. Emailed them. So I emailed them, and they went ahead and got back to me fairly quickly. And I was explaining the situation to them and say, yeah, we could help you. And they charged me double, right? They charged me double. But they said that if I sell the property before a year, I could get pretty much that reimbursement back. That double was for the whole year, and I couldn't even pay it per month. It was like you got to drop it at the closing. So that was another red flag. I was like, damn, I got to spend more money. You feel me? And the third one was initially the subfloor, the flooring where you obviously walk around. It was a bit soft. And I dealt with situations like that where properties had soft flooring. It's a foundational thing, or probably just a little bit of rotten wood. But you wouldn't really know until you pull the floor. So, I had my contractor go ahead and walk the property, and he was letting me know, okay, cool, we pretty much good and everything, but I'm gonna come back another time, you feel me, when it's daytime, and I'm just gonna let you know what I think about it in the daytime. Because now it's nighttime when he went. It was nighttime when he went. So, you could walk around the house, but you don't really get a real feeling of how the house will look in the daytime. So he followed up a few days later, and this is like 3 days later before I was supposed to close still. I still have to talk to insurance. I still have to get them to send that information over to title. And this dude right here is still giving me the final say-so on the property. So right now I'm gambling. I'm like, okay, cool. I might just close the property first and he give me the say-so after, or I might get the say-so first and then, close the property after. So I was very much battling mind and soul at that point. And, I went into a great meditation state. And I was just like, man, what would I do in this property myself? Would I actually live here? Would I actually take the time to appreciate this process that I'm going through? Is this property even providing the numbers that I'm looking for? So I went through a lot of questions in my head before I was like, you know what? It's not worth it. You get me? And then he came back to me, and Lord and behold, he was like, listen, Mo, I'm not even going to lie to you. The flooring that you see on top of the house, that's inside the house, that's not even like the biggest problem. You have to replace the boards and everything and the joints and the stilts that's going under the house. So he had someone go under the house. And it was just a lot. It was just a lot of, everything was just rotten. And technically speaking, I already got it done, right? In the first inspector, he went out and they went ahead and, she went ahead and walked the property, sent me an inspection report. Yes, I seen the flooring was soft, but she doesn't go under the house. So right now, that was a gamble, right? And when I say not every blessing comes in physical form, I mean it like this because, yes, that house could have been sold for $220, $250, right? I was buying it for $100, put 20, 30K into it, 130, sell it for like $200, make a good 70, 90K on it. But at what cost, right? What was I really going to gain at the end of the day if I was going to spend more money on this house at the end? Because $15,000 was he quoted me for the floor, right? That's not including materials. That's just labor. $15,000 just to take care of the whole top, the whole bottom, and the materials might be another $5, $6, $7 grand. You feel me? Probably more. That's $25,000 on floors, right? So now you up $125 already, and you still didn't take care of the real flooring, the vinyl or the paint and all that. So you're already up 40 bands, 140, 150, 150. You feel me? Selling it for 200, you're not gonna make it. So you got to think about, like, is it worth it? Is your ego is the one that's telling you can still do it? Is pride getting you away from telling people we can't close? You get me? And I always have to take an L on the chin every once in a while because it reminds me that I am human. Because, sometimes I feel like, damn, things are going smooth, man. I'm ready for something. And I don't be trying to think about it, but what I'm saying is I always be prepared. So I always tell people, always have another property in line. Always have another opportunity or something that that's in the same relative space that you could just jump right to. You get me? So it's just like if you were a real estate developer and one of your projects fell through, but you still own rental property. You still took care of what you needed to take care of at the end of the day. It's just like if you were a hairstylist. Are you still going to be working if you go to a new city, right? You could always remember if you come back to your old city, you will always have clients. But going into a new city, you got to reestablish your face, your brand, everything, right? But you still have that strong audience. So if you come back for homecoming and say, hey, I'm doing homecoming special, prom specials, college specials, makeup, anything you're, gifted at, you'll make a bigger bang because now you're not really there all the time, right? So now your value goes up. But when you go to another city, state, you have to rebuild your value. But what I'm saying is you always have to make sure you know what you're about to do, right? So for this deal in particular, I was like, okay, cool. Worst case scenario, I'll just shift this initial deal that I'm going to do into another deal. And you just got to do things like that, or you just want to use those funds to like build a house or buy some land or buy another house. Anything that you want to do in particular with the deal. But what I'm just pretty much trying to say is like not everything's going to go smooth, according to plans. And sometimes your plan might not even be the plan that is going to be best for you. Because God forbid, imagine if I signed that paper and everything. Now I'm stuck with a house that I can't even fix because I don't have the money for it. I'm paying the mortgage. People can't live in it. Inspectors not paying, like passing it. I'm in a fucked up situation. It's going to be foreclosed and going to be bankrupt. You get me? So I always talk about that in every podcast. I always talk about everything that needs to be done. So I lost $5,000 in this. You get me? I put down earnest of $2,500. I put another $2,500 into just miscellaneous fees, back and forth gas, paying people to go see things, inspectors, all this other stuff added up to $5,000. But that was before I even had to get this $95,000. Technically speaking, $82,000 they would have gave me to loan, right? Because I would have been putting out 15%. So I would have had an $82,000 loan above my head on a property that I can't even fix. And now I'm stuck with a bigger problem. So I'd rather lose that $5,000. I'd rather look at it like a lesson to say, okay, cool. Next time I'm gonna check up and under the house. I'm always learning in real estate, you guys. That's why I always make sure I document the journey on these podcasts, on these episodes, so people don't be like, oh, bro, you was always good. You always had it good. No, bro, I lose money all the time. I told y'all for the first time, my first few deals, I lost buku amount of bread. You get me? And every time I lose money, I got to go back to the drawing table because it's not like I have a job. You get me? I got to set things up back into structure. It could take me 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 months, depending on how long it takes me to recoup on that money. And if I have it to invest, you get me? And like I said, it's not easy getting into real estate, staying in real estate, and dominating real estate. So that's why it's always best to always have a plan just in case around real estate to know that you're always going to have something coming in, regardless of what's going on in your current situation. So be open to the blessings. Be open to the lessons. Be open to anything that's trying to stir you in one way and your heart is telling you another way. You feel me? If you feel like you want to go to a party but it doesn't feel right, don't go. You get me? If somebody's telling you, hey, listen, I think you should go to this networking event. I think you will love it. Go. You get me? A lot of people have such a pride thing. A lot of people don't really understand like opportunities. They don't come around. You get me? So you got to be ready. You got to be on your P's. If the opportunity is at your front doorstep knocking and you're ready to get at it, why would you even try to like see if it's worth it? You don't know the next time you're going to get an opportunity. You don't know what opportunity is going to take you to the next level, and you don't know what blessing is going to protect you from, any harm. You get me? I try to take everything like a grain of salt because I go with my intuitive nudges. If something feels right, I'm going to go with it. And for this particular property, it didn't feel right, and I was still trying to beat the odds and say, you know what, I can still do it because I'm just that person. And, God blessed me with the opportunity to be protected from this deal because I didn't have no fucking 15 extra grand to throw around, to fix a fucking floor. 15 to buy another house, yeah, but 15 to put into the same house and it blew my budget. No, it's an ego thing, it's a pride thing, and I'm not going to just let everybody eat off me because that's exactly what happened. The lenders make money, the realtors make money, the inspectors make money, the lawyers make money, the closing agents make money, the title make money. Everybody makes money on you, and then you're the last person to make money, and you're still the person to deal with the mortgage and the loan. So I always tell people like, be open to other opportunities. You get me? This might just be an learning lesson, which it was for me, because now I learned something different. And what that was, do my due diligence 2 times extra when I'm working outside the state and a jurisdiction I never worked with. So pretty much what I'm just letting you guys know is to chase your dreams, keep everybody that you initially working with in your circle, keep them tight, keep them strong. Don't lose faith when things go bad, obviously, because shit goes always bad. And I always tell somebody if it's not one thing, it's another. But always be blessed enough to always look at the blessings that you have as the best and biggest blessings ever. Because people be like, man, I want a new car. At least you got a car. Some people don't got a car. At least you about to have enough money to buy a new car real soon. You say your income tax coming. Just wait a little bit. That blessing's coming. Probably now wasn't the right time to buy a car because you probably wouldn't be able to afford it. That person you probably wanted, God probably just made you be removed from that person. You guys have a fallout. You don't know what intentions that person had, even though you probably didn't see it right there on the spot. That property you was going to buy, yeah, somebody outbidded you, but you probably weren't ready for that. You probably didn't know what was going to happen outside of you buying that property. Something probably popped up. That person could have had 200, 300 grand laying around. They caught, you don't know what happened, so you just got to look at everything like, are you really meant to win every reward that, is coming towards you? Are you really meant to see every blessing as an opportunity or as a lesson? And in my eyes, every opportunity could be a blessing or a lesson. You give me, because sometimes the opportunity that you could take could be an opportunity for you to learn, So not every opportunity you're going to look at and strike gold, because you might take an opportunity to be a basketball player, but you might not make the team, but at least you got exposed to other coaches and other players who are playing. Now they recognize game. You give me, now you may be called out for the second trial to another team. You just never know how things work out. But the L that you took was the lesson that there are other people who may be better than you, who are better than you, who are going to put more work into the work. And some people may just want it a little bit more. That doesn't mean you fall any fall victim to them. All I'm saying is it's easier said than done. So I appreciate you guys listening to Road to Billions podcast. It's been an amazing journey. Like I said, check out the other episodes. Everybody who's been sending me feedback, who's been telling me, hey, listen, man, drop some things about real estate. You guys stay tuned. I just have a lot of things I'm going on real soon. But I want you guys to follow, the Instagram page and follow Bright Raven Group. That is my development company. And I'm really focused on this building affordable housing and, rebuilding, reconstruction, rehabbing these houses that unfortunately went to shambles and need work. But I'm here being a young entrepreneur, black male who see where I came from. I came from the hood. I came from Alapata, Miami. You feel me? Real stuff, real hood. I'm talking about in the gutter now. And I'm seeing how me providing equal opportunity for other people not to move out their hood or be gentrified by other companies and stuff like that. staying in a neighborhood that they once grew up in, it brings me joy. You know, seeing somebody who don't really have to move out the area because tall skyscrapers and outrageous apartment buildings are being built and prices are going to just skyrocket through the city. I'm that person who's still going to keep the communist touch, who said, listen, man, let's keep these houses in the grandma neighborhood. Like, nah, keep your grandma house and just fix it up. Let's rent it out. Let's put it on Section 8. Let's get some cash flow going. Let's get some money in your pocket. I'm not the person to be like, oh, let me buy that house from you. Because if you don't buy the house, then I'm going to have somebody else buy it even for cheaper, for a bigger price. You're not going to be able to, refuse that offer. Now I'm making more bank. So it's like, I'm a person who are for the people. You get me? That's why I try to teach other young men and women about the importance of just knowing real estate, about the importance of not, blowing your bag on superstitious things and bullshit and materialistic things, superficial, and just things that don't matter, things that don't increase no value for the long run, for the future. Always stick to things that create value and always stick to things that hold value. So I appreciate you guys for listening to Road to Billions podcast. It's been an amazing journey. I always tell you guys from the bottom of my heart, I love you guys for listening to the podcast. Continue to send me feedback, emails, DMs, and keep me posted, guys.